Howdy, my name is Ashley. I'll be your safari driver for today. I do ask that you all remain seated and keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times. You all are more than welcome to take pictures and videos, but turn those cameras on sport or live mode. That way your pictures don't turn out blurry. Keep a tight hold on any loose items. Anything that's dropped off the side of the truck can probably be retrieved, but I can't promise what condition it will be returned to. If you do happen to drop something off the side, no worries, just let me know. Alright, we're here in the Aturi Forest, and over here on our right, we're going to see the okapi, and on our left, we're going to see the saddle-billed stork and the bongo. The bongo are these reddish-brown antelopes. Now, both the male and the female bongo have these horns. They're heavy and angled backwards, and paired with their shorter legs, they allow them to easily maneuver through the tangled underbrush at full speed.
Those bubbles!
They're also quite shy, so they're nicknamed the ghost of the forest. Now, the okapi that we saw on our right, people often think that they're related to the zebra because they have stripes on their legs, but they aren't related to the giraffe. And we can tell that by looking at the shape of their skull. So the reason the okapi have those stripes on their legs is because that mimics the shadows the sunlight makes as it shines through the bushes, and that helps them break up their silhouette.
That's cool.
Over here on our left, that is a black rhino.
Black rhinos.
They weigh approximately 3,000 pounds.
Right, Iggy?
They have a pointed upper lip so they can grab and pull leaves off of branches and eat. They can charge up to 35 miles per hour, and they have an excellent sense of hearing and smell. On top of the hill on our right, we're seeing the greater kudu. We can tell that all of them are female because they don't have horns. The males that do, those can grow up to 6 feet in length from head to tip.
Where are the kudus?
And the saddle-billed storks that we saw across from the okapi. So they probably didn't look like it, but they stand about 5 feet tall. They also have a wingspan of approximately 9 feet, which is about the same width as the canopy that's above your head. And all of the animals that live in the Aturi Forest use these plants as food and shelter. So it's important that we use paper products responsibly and recycle when we can, because that helps ensure their habitats stay balanced.
Iggy.
Now we're heading into the Safi River. This is an aquatic ecosystem. It's home to our friends, the pink-backed pelicans. They get their name from the pink feathers that are on their backs, but also during mating season, the skin on top of their bill will turn a flush pink color. So it almost looks like they're blushing.
Wow.
Both the male and the female care for their egg. They use their feet to help keep it warm.
What's that over there? It's a big hippopotamus. A big old hippopotamus. Isn't that funny, Iggy?
Right, no.
Hippo!
Over here on our left,
There's a hippopotamus.
wading around in the water.
Hippopotamuses are
just
very
swimming
big
around in the
and
water.
chunky. They're a bit of a chunky boy.
Hippos are
Hippo.
So they are
Very nice.
nocturnal. They spend the majority of their time during the day in the water, so they don't overheat.
Hippo.
They can fully submerge themselves and hold their breath for up to 8 minutes. They also have these incredibly large incisors that can grow up to
That's a
18 inches in length. But they're herbivores, so those teeth are primarily used for defense.
Ooh.
There's another hippo over here by these waterfalls on our left.
that big ridge.
Also on our left, we're seeing the
cool?
Nile crocodiles.
A crocodile.
They have one of the most powerful jaws in the animal kingdom.
Cool.
But despite that powerful jaw, the mothers will take their eggs and put them in their mouths and roll them around. And they do that because they're so
I just saw it as you were
and it
leaving.
helps their eggs hatch. Crocodiles usually only eat 1 meal per week, but when they do, they consume nearly half of their body weight in that single meal. So in one sitting, they'll eat approximately 250 pounds worth of food.
That's a lot of food.
Now, our next stop is the savannah. As we come around this turn on our right-hand side, we're going to see a huge tree that is native to the savannah. It's called the baobab tree.
That is a big tree.
So the baobab tree's nickname is the tree of life. It gets that nickname because during the rainy seasons, it harvests all of that water and then stores it in its So during the dry seasons, when the animals are searching for water, they can go up to the baobab tree, rip off a piece of the bark, eat it, and get hydrated that way. They also remain leafless for about 9 months out of the year, and that's so the leaves don't take up too much of the water that has been stored inside of the trunk. And they're able to soak up all of that water from the ground because the inside of their trunks is very spongy. And that also allows them to hold tens of thousands of gallons of water.
That's cool, Iggy. Right?
So yeah. Alright, let's see what we can find up ahead.
Ooh.
Okay, looks like on our left, we're going to see the African painted dogs.
Ooh.
They're laying down in their den.
Are they dogs that have?
They have both a male and a female alpha. The female is their primary alpha, but together they are some of the most effective hunters in Africa. They have an insanely high success rate. They get their name African painted dog from their unique coats. Both the color and the pattern help them camouflage themselves.
Ooh.
Very successful.
They're kind of.
And also on our left, looks like we're going to see the sable antelopes. They are laying down in the shade back there. We're also seeing the Hartman's mountain zebras.
Ooh.
Now, people often wonder,
There
is black with white stripes or white with black stripes? Well, we can answer that question by looking at the color of their noses. The Hartman's mountain zebras specifically have a solid black nose, so that means they are black with white stripes. Their striping patterns are completely unique to them, just like our fingerprints are unique to us. And when their foals are born, they will memorize the striping pattern of their mother so they can pick her out in a group and they'll only nurse from her. A group of zebras is called a dazzle. And the sable antelopes that were back behind them, they're the emblem here at the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. They were chosen as the emblem because they are very well known for never backing down, regardless of what they're faced with. So they stand up for themselves, just like we stand up for the animals that we have here on the reserve. And just like the African painted dogs, they also have both a male and a female alpha. The male is the sable antelope's primary alpha, but the female alpha is the one that will dictate the movement of their group. And we're seeing some Maasai giraffes over here on our left side. Giraffes are one of the tallest animals. They can grow to be anywhere between 18 and 20 feet tall.
What?
They usually only sleep for about 30 minutes a day. And they don't sleep laying down either. They'll stay standing or they'll kneel. Another way we know the okapi that we saw in the Ituri forest is related to the giraffe. They both have this thing called a prehensile tongue. And that just means they can reach their tongues out super far, wrap it around a branch like a finger, and pull the leaves off so they can eat. Their tongues are anywhere between 17 and 24 inches in length, which is about the same length as your arm from your elbow to the tip of your middle finger. That is long enough for them to be able to lick their own eyeballs. Another really good look.
Why would you want to
The Tower of Giraffes over here. That's what a group of them are called. You also might notice the horns that are on their heads. Those are called ossicones. Both the male and the female have them. Just like our ears and noses, they're made out of cartilage. The ossicones are another way that we know they're related to the okapi as well. So the male okapi have ossicones. The female okapi do not.
Huh. Neat. Isn't that neat, Iggy?
Wow. Okay, now we're
taking it all in.
pretty quickly. There is an African elephant.
Oh,
over
that's
here.
why you haven't been paying attention
We're
to
gonna
me.
see
Hey,
them
attention.
again. So I'm gonna keep on moving forward. So you're gonna be on our right hand side. So when you see elephants flapping their ears, they're doing that to cool themselves down. It creates a wind that cools down the blood vessels on the back side of their ears, and that helps them lower their body temperature up to 15 degrees.
Oh, cool.
Okay, we might have to look way over this right hand shoulder. Oh, maybe not.
You're close.
Elephants.
There are 2 of them over there.
There are.
So elephants have very sensitive skin, and they'll take dirt, mud, and sand and fling it onto their bodies with their trunks because that acts as a natural sunscreen. And speaking of their trunks, it is a common misconception that they can drink through them like a straw. So it does kind of work that way, but more so like when you dip a straw into a glass of water, put your finger over the end and then pull it out, the water will stay inside the straw. So elephants can suck water up into their trunks and hold it in there, but then they just pour it.
That's a rickety bridge.
That way. And the savanna is a really fragile ecosystem that often requires its animals to migrate in search of food and water. But something else that forced specifically the African elephants to migrate was when their habitats were destroyed by people mining through this metal called coltan, which is used to make electronics. So it's super important to recycle our electronics whenever we're finished with them. When the elephants were migrating in search of a new place to call home, they found themselves in the middle of some farmland in Kenya. But unfortunately, they had trampled through all of the farmers' crops. So in an effort to make sure this didn't happen again, researchers here discovered that elephants are afraid of the buzzing sound that bees make. So they established the Elephants and the Bees Project, which allowed them to build beehive fences. So they put these fences up around the farmers' crops, and that told the elephants, we're seeing them again over here on our left, where they could not go in a safe way. Once the crops grew back, the farmers could sell and consume them, but they could also sell and consume the honey that the honeybees made. And this is excellent for the honeybee population as well. So that's a really good look at conservation with things that don't have a single thing to do with one another, but they work together so seamlessly.
Ooh, here's another tree. That is a mailbox tree. Tree.
Okay, also on our left, we're going to see the greater flamingos. They are the largest and the lightest pink of all of the flamingos. And if you see some gray fluffy ones, those are the babies.
Ooh, flamingos.
It's often thought that the joint on their leg is their knee, but that's their ankle. So the bone that extends from that is their foot. It attaches to 4 toes. 3 of those toes are webbed.
No, that horse flamingos are beautiful.
A group of flamingos is called a flamboyant, and they get that pink color from the beta carotene that's in the brine shrimp they eat. So it'll take those baby flamingos a couple of years to get that full pink color.
I knew that.
And we are traveling deeper into the savanna. And up here on our left, we are going to see the white rhinos.
Ooh.
So obviously these rhinos are not white, they are gray. We call them white rhinos because of our misinterpretation of the Afrikaans word white, which means wide. And that's talking about the shape of their mouths. It's flat and rectangular. That shape helps them graze. Oh, and across the street over here on our right, those are ostriches. I'll tell you about them here in just a little bit. A couple more things about the white rhinos. They weigh anywhere between 4,000 and 5,000 pounds. Oh, and their horns are made out of keratin, just like our hair and fingernails.
So the
All right, y'all. We're gonna play a game. And the name of that game is Spot the Cheetah.
The cheetah?
So they're over here on the left. They're a little bit hard to see because of their spots. I see 3 cheetahs, but there's one that's really visible. Do y'all see it? Okay, look way back in this back left-hand corner. There's a big rock, and then to the right of that rock there's a big tree, and at the base of that tree, you can see the cheetah's head. It's laying down on the ground. Let's keep on moving forward. See if we can maybe see one a little bit easier.
There's a cheetah.
2 are at the tree line, but they're really hard to see because that grass is really tall back there.
There's a cheetah back there.
They can reach speeds of 70 miles per hour. They can go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
They're the fastest mammals alive.
In the shade in that back left corner.
They're the fastest mammals alive. There it is. I see it now.
Yeah, walk them.
While cheetahs are quick, they don't maintain that speed for long. It's usually just a couple hundred yards. They're also one of the only cats that is a daytime hunter. They have black lines on their faces that run from the inner corners of their eyes down to the outer corners of their mouths. And those lines help redirect the glare of the sun out of their eyes so they can see better. If you think about how athletes will put black lines on their faces, it works.
I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a lion here.
Oh, look over here on the right. Kind of in that shady area on top of that little plateau up there, that hill. That's a water buck.
Water buck?
They have very cute heart-shaped noses.
It's a bucky.
They're not usually found too far away from water sources, and that's because for an antelope, they drink an unusually large amount of water. There's another one over there on our right in front of that big group of trees.
Oh.
They also emit this grease-like substance from their coat, and we think that's to help them waterproof themselves, but also be able to smell when there are other water buck around. They'll also use water as a form of protection, so when danger approaches, they'll wade out into the deep part of the water, and that kind of deters the predator from getting any closer. Okay, arguably, maybe harder to see than the cheetahs. We're going to see warthogs on our left. So you see where all these really green ferns are on that hillside? At the base of that hill, there are 3 warthogs laying down over there. So warthogs are one of the largest burrowing animals. They will dig their own burrows, but they really prefer burrows that have been dug by aardvarks. They'll back into them, leaving their tusks sticking out for protection. Just like an elephant, their tusks are made out of ivory. Surprisingly, they can run up to 30 miles per hour. And along with the white rhinos, they love to roll around in the mud because it helps keep them cool, but it also keeps the bugs off of them. And we saw that ostrich. We're actually going to see some of their eggs over here on our right. They're to the right of this path that kind of is perpendicular to us right now. They're over there by that tall grass.
Ostriches!
So ostriches are one of the largest birds. They are flightless, but they can run up to 40 miles per hour. And a single stride can propel them forwards 10 to 12 feet.
That's a lot.
Those eggs will take 40 days to hatch, and they also weigh 3 pounds apiece, which is about equivalent to 2 dozen chicken eggs.
A dozen? I could get a dozen donuts.
Then we're heading up to the warden's post. He lives on the outer edge of the reserve, and he and his team likes to care for Nigerian dwarf goats.
Stop ignoring me.
These goats might look small, but they are fully grown.
Look at
They
those
love
goats.
to play in roughhouse. It helps them not only determine
nice of
dominance in their herd, but it also helps them mature physically. And they do have round bellies. That's normal. They are ruminants, just like cattle. So that means they have multiple chambers in their stomachs, and that helps them digest the food they eat. It's important that we note the relationship between the warden and the goats. This shows us that humans and animals can coexist peacefully. So we can provide animals like the goats with food and shelter, and in return, the goats supply us with milk that can be sold, consumed, or turned into cheese. It's also important that we do small but impactful things in our day-to-day lives, like shop reusable shopping bags, use reusable water bottles and straws, recycle our one-time use plastics, aluminum cans, and electronics, like we talked about earlier. Also, remembering to shut the water off while you're washing the water. And if you're running water, waiting for it to heat up, stick a container under there, collect it, and then use that to water your plants. Doing even just a few of these things helps ensure our animals and planet stay safe around as long as possible for us and our future generations to learn about.
That's a cool ride.
If you would like to see more
like and
animals,
subscribe.
I highly recommend you check out Gorilla Falls. It's an easy hike. You can see some real live gorillas. It's actually at the exit of